I'm right on the edge. I don't know what comes next. Oh, I do. It's Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
Yes.
Yes, these are only going to get more tortured. But damn it, I prepared a quote for everyone that I wanted to get in. I'm going to try.
But, tortured linking device is very much on brand for Fuds on Film. So.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
If there is any one film that established Anderson as Lord Whimsy Whimsington III, it would be The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, where Bill Murray returns as the titular famous but faded oceanographer,
Sea fella.
sea guy, seaman, who swears Ahabian enmity upon the jaguar shark that killed his best friend and set sea course for vengeance. On this trip, he'll take the recently discovered probable son, Owen Wilson's Ned Plimpton, and Kate Blanchett's Jane Winslet Richardson, a journalist that he hopes will capture the journey in a positive light and bring him back the respect that he feels he has unfairly lost of late. Also joining the trip are his usual crew headed by Willem Dafoe and some interns that really ought to be issued red shirts, going up against nature, pirates, and Zissou's bitter rival, oceanographer Jeff Goldblum. Now, it would be foolish to deny the whimsy of this. Just look at the underwater life scenes that have more in common with the fantastic Mr. Fox than a David Attenborough joint, or the incredible, in both senses of the word, layout of Zissou's vessel, which it is often as much of a storybook as it is a film. However, you can't write it off entirely as a journey of whimsy either. Perhaps more than any of his other films, Anderson undercuts it with action scenes that are entirely at odds with the rest of the content, but still incredibly enjoyable.
Wes Anderson and gunfight. You don't immediately put those two together.
No. It's a hell of an ensemble cast performance again, with an excellent soundtrack that stands out even amongst Anderson's typically excellent soundtracks, and I find this one of the most entertaining of Anderson's works. Until relatively recently, this would have been my favourite film of his. I don't think it's doing a great deal to further our knowledge of humanity in any regard, and given the number of characters that it's got, it's not really going all that deep on any of them, but they're all memorable and they're all entertaining, as is the film overall, and sometimes that's enough.
How often do you feel sorry for Willem Dafoe?
He's not typically a sympathetic character in a lot of films, is he?
Exactly, but as Klaus in The Life Aquatic, he is. Yeah, you're talking about kind of the whimsy and things in this too, and then you mentioned I was very much thinking of this, you mentioned the design of the ship, and it belies reality, that sort of thing, but how often is it the set design that breaks the fourth wall?
Yes. Yes.
I mean, you might have something like Dogville where the whole thing is never meant to be, it's like sketched out like a rehearsal room. That's a very specific thing that lasts the whole film. But yes, there's a sequence in Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou where the set design breaks the fourth wall, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. Not that I can recall immediately anyway. Now, I think when we spoke about Isle of Dogs last year, that I described it as the most Wes Anderson film. Having come back to The Life Aquatic for the first time in a few years now, no, I think this is the pinnacle. This is Wes Anderson. This is the most Wes Anderson film of all time, and I love this film. So that works for me. But certainly, if you were unsure about whether his particularly whimsical stylings are for you, don't start with this one.
Yeah.
I think, even if you find it this thing, so you probably want to ease yourself into that world anyway, but this one, it's a visual treat. You mentioned the music, Scott. So Charget's renditions of acoustic guitar renditions of David Bowie songs that he himself translated into Portuguese.
Yeah.
Is one of my favourite film soundtracks ever.
Yeah.
Much as I love the Bowie originals, because obviously, well, I'm not mad, they're brilliant. These are fantastic as well, and they're not direct translations too. I've looked into some of I don't speak Portuguese more than a handful of words, but I've looked into some of the translations. They're actually, and you can tell actually, I think, if you've got any grasp of the language at all, that they're not direct translations, but they work really, really well. And they just, even if you're just an English speaker who has no concept of them, they sound really good.
Yeah.
Sort of familiar yet different. And yeah, it's such a vibrant, bright, wonderful film, but also has that trademark Anderson melancholy to it, especially at the end. The end should sort of be uplifting because he's successfully made the second part of his film and kind of come to some sort of inner peace. Yeah, that scene when he's on the steps with the kid, Klaus's nephew, it's like just kind of achingly melancholy. And it kind of gets to you after a while. As again, you watch 93 Days, it wears on you a bit. So I'm feeling a bit down right now. As much as I enjoyed these films, it is perhaps also the strongest example of his incredibly painstakingly symmetrical composition.
Yeah.
In particular, the shots in the submarine at the end, which coincides also with the most vacant Bill Murray-ness. I'm not convinced his facial expression changes for the entire film. And, you know, that should be a terrible thing. That should be really boring, yet isn't, which is a kind of a magical mystery in itself. I think, too, this was a fairly critically successful film. I don't recall now if it was commercially successful. I know Royal Tenenbaums was. But how many films, let alone, if not by this point, a straight-up indie filmmaker, certainly with indie filmmaker sensibilities, how many films at all, let alone one of this category, produced special edition Adidas shoes as they released a couple of years ago and sold out instantaneously? That was weird.
Yeah.
That was really weird. It's like special edition Steve Zissou shoes by like the second largest sports manufacturing company in the world. Right? Okay. Have you seen that film, Adidas? That's okay. Good, I guess. That was quite a surreal thing when that happened.
According to Wikipedia, who I trust implicitly, the film was released to mixed reviews and was a box office flop. Since release, it has garnered a cult following and is now viewed more positively by critics, although cult following is a strange thing to say about a film with a box office of 35 million. But
yes.
Anyway, I get the point. But yes, I remember liking this very, very much at the time, and I like it just as much now. So it only goes to show that we were right then and we're right now.
Yeah, I was the same. I liked it immediately. Because we are trendsetters. We didn't tell as many people that we liked it, so they didn't really know we were setting a trend, but we were. We're tastemakers, Scott.
Yes.
Not really what we wanted to do in this episode too. The only thing that really bothered me about this film is Cate Blanchett's accent. I think it's probably well established I am no fan of Cate Blanchett. Mm-hmm. I think she's fine in this. I just don't understand why she's got that kind of breathy, high-pitched English accent, which was just, it added nothing. There was no reason for the character to be English at all.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there was necessarily any reason for Willem Dafoe to be German, but her accent, and that's really kind of unpleasant to the ears. It just seemed unnecessary, but kind of scraping around for something to say that other than that, like, this film's really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's probably pretty obvious if you know anything about it at all, but it's sort of based on the travels of Jacques Cousteau, the famous French naturalist and cinematographer, I guess, and filmmaker, and his boat, the Calypso, which quite amusing here. It's called the Belafonte because Harry Belafonte was famous for Calypso songs. That probably counts as some sort of very wry joke.
Yeah.
It's so difficult. I was going to say, yes, but it's kind of like a really kind of fantastical, surreal, and absurd. Absurd is one thing that's true about Wes Anderson films. So it's a surreal, absurd take on Jacques Cousteau's adventures with added animation by Henry Selick.
Yeah.
He of A Night Before Christmas, and particularly for the films that we particularly care for, Coraline.
Yes.
The animation also made me think very much of Michel Gondry, particularly The Science of Sleep. Mm-hmm. Yes, The Life Aquatic. It is great. So watch that.